Hey dads, today we're going to be upcycling some teas that I got from the bins, as well as talk about overconsumption in the fashion industry. Sheesh.
Forever Dead. Activated.
So first we're going to start with the t-shirts that I got. So this one's I actually got them at the Goodwill Bins. It's one of, I think, only 3 in Arizona. And this one was located in Phoenix. They were pretty good. Just make sure whenever you go to the bins to just have gloves, mask, a trash bag, hand sanitizer, because that shit is super nasty. But what I'm currently doing right now is I'm trying to figure out how I'm actually gonna cut the pieces. So the design that we're going with is we're gonna try and make them all striped t-shirts. So we're gonna just cut every single t-shirt at a specific spot and then try and sew them together so that it can be like a new block type style. And the inspiration actually comes from Magella, so shout outs to Magella. Some editing with Photoshop, but you can literally use any photo editing app. I heard Canva is usually pretty good, and that's web-based and it's free, so try use that. So the printer I use is the Canon Pixma MG3520, and literally it was like $50 off of Amazon. They do that because the printer is cheap, but then the ink is expensive, so that's how they hook you. I see what you're doing. Anyway, what you'll need is a ruler, a fabric rotary cutter. You also need a pair of scissors and some chalk. And obviously, yeah, the t-shirts are gonna be cutting. So let's get started. First, we're gonna begin with laying the t-shirts flat on the ground and then using the ruler and the chalk to make the outlines of where we're gonna cut the t-shirts to sew them together. So do this for every single t-shirt and make sure that you put them all together on top of each other so each line directly corresponds with another t-shirt's line so they all match together. Overconsumption. Why is it a thing? So first we'll start with how much the actual global fashion industry is worth. And it's estimated to be worth $1.7 trillion. Like, what the heck? Like, do you know how much $1.7 trillion is? Like, we can't even fathom how much, like, $2 million is, like, physically. Now you talk about $1.7 trillion. Like, okay, so first of all, to put into perspective, what you can do with $1.7 trillion is you can basically be the entire United States government's budget. Like, literally, Biden just signed a bill that for $1.7 trillion.
President Joe Biden capped a year of what he called historic progress. He signed the ominous funding bill yesterday.
That's crazy.
The massive $1.7 trillion legislation.
Like, I could have literally just snuck in a document in between there that said, hey, I need my student loan paid off, my credit card paid off, and also a small donation of 100 million. You can Zelle me, Cash App, Venmo, whatever works best for you. And then I can get at least a 2-apartment bedroom in Phoenix because this place is so expensive. But, you know, times are tough out here. And they wouldn't have known, like, literally. Or to make it more interesting, you can get a team full of Kylian Mbappe's. Soccer has 11 players, so 11 of them, put them on a 2.5-year contract. And, yeah, the world we live in right now. Crazy. And that shows you how large the fashion industry is. And with the rise of fast fashion that was started by companies like H&M and Zara, and then later on perfected by Shein, we've been able to like see how overconsumption has taken over the whole country and the whole planet essentially. And mostly after COVID, a lot of people weren't able to go to the actual physical stores to shop, so companies like Amazon were able to make a killing and crushing it because we were just stuck at home buying everything online. So Shein was able to perfect that algorithm that they have, and then overconsumption just became a normal thing within our society, which is super unfortunate. Anyway, back to cutting the pieces. Make sure you use your fabric rotary cutter, and then you want to make sure you line them up all together. This is how it should look like. Yeah, you guys are doing pretty good. Give yourself a thumbs up and also hydrate. So put all the pieces away carefully, and then it's now time to line them up according to how you decided your design to be. I printed my paper out, so that's what I'm gonna use to figure out which pieces go together. Overconsumption impacts a couple things in our society today, but I'm gonna be talking about 3 main ones: the environmental impact, the labor practices, and the psychological and social impacts that come with overconsumption. These things are so good. So good. So as I said, now we have the pieces all cut out, start aligning them to how you want them to look. like depending on how you design them. And then let's start pinning them, putting them together to see how they come out. So the environmental impacts of overconsumption are insane. So currently right now we make between 80 to 150 billion garments a year. That means each person in the world, currently we have 8 billion people in the world. I don't know how they counted them, but each person would be able to get 10 to 18 garments every single year. I don't know how that's possible because some people be getting 50 to 100 pieces, others don't even get any. Most of the garments end up going to landfills because the seasons have already changed, because that's what the fashion industry has made us think, to always buy items depending on the season. If it's spring, you buy the latest things for spring. If it's summer, you buy the latest things for the summer. If it's winter, you buy the latest things for winter. So 87% of the materials used to make the clothes also end up in landfills. That's insane. And it's reported that water is like one of the biggest things that are hit environmentally, because we use apparently 79 trillion liters of water to make the clothes. That's... So I don't know about y'all, but I need to use this time to think, you know? So once you're done sewing your pieces, they should look something like this. It should. You guys are doing some really good work, saving the planet while making really fire pieces. Now just sew every single other piece to the t-shirt so that you can have a complete t-shirt. And I know you will have extra pieces from the other shirts, so use those to make other t-shirts. I use like 4 different shirts, so that I will be able to make 4 different shirts. And if you have more t-shirts, you can be able to make X amount of t-shirts. So just keep doing that until you use every single piece of clothes. Overconsumption impacts labor practices in the form of wages, the age of the worker, and also the environment that they're working in. Most of the time it's reported that the place that they're working in is super unsafe, that the people who are working there are underage and are being paid really low. Like take for example, Times Magazine did an investigation where they ended up finding out that the people who are working in some of the Shein factories were being paid $20 a day, and they were working 17-hour shifts, and then at the same time, if they had any mistakes to the garments, they were only being paid, they were docked $14, so you only end up with $6 a day. That is insane, because most of the time some of us do end up getting, when you buy an item online, it ends up being damaged. And sure, quality control at scale is super hard to do, but when you're making $100 billion, I'm pretty sure you can be able to figure out how to be able to make every single item get to the consumer in the most perfect way possible. Like for example, if you pay people better, but it's on us for wanting cheap items and cheap clothes, but at the same time we don't get paid enough to be able to buy much more expensive items that have been taken care of more. So someone accidentally spilled all of the pins on the ground, on the carpet too. So it's not even that they're expensive, it's just that all the effort that has gone to the item has ensured that one, there isn't been any waste of any excess amount of water, meaning they've been able to buy machines that have been able to use technology that reduces the amount of water consumption, that reduces the amount of material waste, that ensures that multiple points of quality control are being checked, and that the people are being paid well. And that's what ends up coming up with a higher price tag. And I'm much more willing to pay for something if that's the case, and if the item obviously lasts for long. And now you should be done with your first piece, and it's looking amazing. Look at that. Look at what you just created. You've been able to save the planet just all by yourself. But honestly, good work. Shout out to you guys. And finally, this is how they came out. I think they look really, really good for all the pieces that I got at the bins. And right now we're gonna do the final piece, which is like the finesse, the cherry on the top. Is gonna be adding the Forever Dead text logo on the back by screen printing. So I'm gonna do a quick screen print of them just to finish it off, and we're going to talk about the last impact of overconsumption, which is the psychological and social impacts. So in order to screen print, you need a screen, the ink, squeegee, and obviously the garment to screen print on. And a lot of people ask me, how do you actually screen print? And honestly, it takes a lot of trial and error, as you will see in this video. You have to just learn how to be able to angle it and also how much pressure to put in. So unless I'm like physically showing you, it's really hard to explain it over video, but I will make an actual video of how to screen print, and it should be linked somewhere at the end of the video or in the caption or in one of my videos on my account or on my TikTok or on my Instagram. Always somewhere. Overconsumption has a large psychological and social impact to us, the consumer. It constantly keeps us in a place of where there's like a fear of missing out. Like right now, the trend right now is the Barbie movie, where people are going and wearing pink. So if you didn't have pink in your wardrobe to begin with, you'll have to end up going to buy something pink. Is it gonna fit in your wardrobe after you watch the movie? Maybe not. Maybe, hopefully. But there's a high chance if you had to go buy the item just to go watch the movie or just to go show up to watch the movie, there's a high chance you might not be able to wear it again. Combine that with the constant change in trends, and then all of a sudden you just feel so overwhelmed. You feel anxious. You feel claustrophobic. You feel depressed. Like to some degree, yeah, we did this to ourselves, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. But you know, we humans never give up. Just like I didn't give up when I was trying to screen print and it wasn't working out. You just gotta keep trying and you just gotta stay focused. You gotta know what you're trying to go for. When it comes to the pieces, yes, you might feel overwhelmed, depressed, anxious, claustrophobic, but don't let that get to you. Just try your best to get out of it as soon as you realize that you are getting into that kind of mindset. Also, for some other people, it's just clothes. It is what it is. If I didn't get the piece, I didn't get the piece. I'm not gonna cry about it. You know. Some wrap, it's okay. Some magella, it's okay. It's just clothes. In the end, just make whatever you want to make, buy whatever you want to buy. And in this case, we're trying to upcycle just so that we can be able to recreate a piece that I wasn't able to get, which are the magella pieces. Super expensive and at the same time really cool. So I'm just doing my own take on it. Hence, this is why I'm making this video. So that I didn't overconsume. I just went and got old stuff, made them, and then thought they're pretty cool to sell to some of you people. If you want it, I kept some pieces for myself, put the rest online to sell, and that's what it came out to. So this is how the pieces ended up turning out.
Daisy dust, yeah. Hazy months, yeah. Ride the stars, yeah. Till you see the sun, yeah. Shining like a star, you gotta move. Rising like the sun, you gotta move. Brighter than the stars, you gotta move. Light up the sky, you gotta move. Shining like a star, you gotta move. Rising like the sun, you gotta move. Brighter than the stars, you gotta move. Light up the sky, you gotta move.
Forever Dead activated.